Welcome to SpatialFrame.com, Release 5.0. We are pleased to introduce you to iADJUST, a companion mobile app for your patients. With iADJUST, your patients will have secure access to their strut adjustment schedule on their mobile device and can mark individual adjustments as complete. iADJUST can be used to facilitate remote monitoring of your patients during the adjustment phase of their treatment, in between their clinic visits. In other areas of medicine, such as diabetes management, studies show that mobile apps can help to improve the implementation of a prescribed treatment regimen. Smith+Nephew is excited to bring this type of technology into the orthopedic space. The intent of this video is to introduce you to the new features made available to you with this version of the TAYLOR Spatial Frame software. Let's log into the software and have a look. Release 5.0 introduces additional columns to the My Cases page, including frame name, code, and status. Throughout the course of this training video, we will discuss each of these new columns. The best way to illustrate the new features with Release 5.0 is to walk through a new case, so let us create a new case. No changes have been made to the case info, deformity, frame, or mount pages. As a reminder, the 4 mount parameters are taken from the reference ring. Therefore, if you are distal referencing, the rotary frame angle refers to the rotation of the anti-master tab. No changes have been made to the strut settings tab either. A best practice is to review the frame previews prior to advancing. The Structure at Risk tab is not changing either. The majority of the changes with the release of 5.0 can be found on the Prescription tab. Check out the Publish for Mobile button located just above the Strut 6 column on the prescription. Choosing the Publish for Mobile option will bring up a new window, which will allow you to choose when you would like the patient's own smartphone to remind them to complete their strut adjustments. You have the ability to prescribe 1, 2, 3, or no daily reminders. The default reminder is a single reminder to adjust all struts at 8 a.m. If your patient has more than one frame, whether it be bilateral or stacked frames, you then have the option to add a frame name to each prescription, such as left or right, or top or bottom. The frame name can help your patients keep track of which prescription goes with which frame. Once you select the Publish for Mobile button shown here, a unique confirmation code and QR code will be generated for this patient's prescription. Now, when you return to the Prescription tab, notice the green information bar at the top of the screen. This bar indicates that the prescription has been published for mobile devices and is no longer editable. The Edit feature is disabled at this point to ensure that the prescription on your account is properly synced with the patient's iADJUST prescription. In a moment, we will discuss how to modify a published prescription. Now let's see what the new printed prescription looks like. Prescriptions that have been published for mobile will display the unique QR code at the top of the first page, above the prescription. On the last page of the prescription will be instructions for your patient to follow in order to find the iADJUST app on the App Store and load their prescription onto their mobile device. Even if you decide that a patient is a good candidate for using the iADJUST mobile app, a printed copy of the prescription is intended to be given to the patient or patient caregiver and kept, just in case something were to happen to their smartphone. Just like before, the report, which contains all data related to the case, should be printed and placed into your patient's file. It's important for you to have a general idea of how your patient will load their prescription onto their smartphone and interact with the mobile app. Once the patient installs and opens iADJUST, they will be asked to tap the plus sign to add a prescription. The mobile app will present a view using the smartphone's camera, and the patient will be asked to position the smartphone to successfully capture the QR code on the printed prescription. Once the prescription is loaded, the prescription card will be displayed. On this prescription card, the patient will find the frame name, a stick figure highlighting their treatment area, and multiple indicators highlighting their progress. Tapping on the prescription card will bring up the mobile strut adjustment schedule. This is the place where your patients will self-report that a strut adjustment is complete by checking off the appropriate box in iADJUST. Whenever your patient self-reports that a strut adjustment is complete, your SpatialFrame.com account will be notified and synchronized. Now, let's revisit the new columns on the My Cases tab. Frame names will be listed for any frames that were given this optional marker. A confirmation code will be populated in the Code column for all published prescriptions. The last new column is the Status column. There are a few possible statuses which can appear in this column. For the purpose of this training video, we will cover 3: OK, Skipped, and Overdue. The remaining statuses are discussed in the Frequently Asked Questions document. OK, highlighted green, means that a patient is self-reporting all strut adjustments according to the schedule. Ideally, the OK status will be displayed for all patients actively making adjustments to their struts. Skipped, highlighted light gray, means that a patient has chosen either not to make a strut adjustment according to schedule, or they have chosen not to self-report in iADJUST that an adjustment was actually made. Overdue, colored red, means that a patient has fallen behind their strut adjustment schedule. With the release of SpatialFrame.com 5.0, you have the ability to drill down on any given patient in order to get a more granular view of their adjustment reporting patterns. For example, let's drill down on Awesome Case, which is a patient with an overdue status displayed on the My Cases page. Clicking on the case name will take you to a sub-tab on the Prescriptions page called the Patient Status tab, which is new with SpatialFrame.com 5.0. Notice that this patient made all adjustments and reported them on the first 2 days of the prescription. Therefore, a green dot appears in the Adjustment Status column. Then, on September 18th, only 3 of the 6 struts were adjusted and reported to iADJUST, appearing as a partial adjustment. The remaining 3 adjustments for September 18th were made on September 19th, returning the patient to an OK green dot status. No adjustments were made on September 20th or September 21st, which is why the patient status appears as overdue, and a red dot is displayed in the Adjustment Status column. Based on the possibility that your patient is choosing not to make adjustments due to pain or some other compounding factor, it is recommended that you check in on patients chronically displaying the skipped and overdue statuses. There are 2 ways to modify a published prescription. First, the TR button found at the end of any row in the prescription can be used to generate a new total residual. Publishing this new total residual case will replace the prescription that the patient is currently using on their mobile device. The confirmation code and QR code will not change. The second way to modify a prescription is to revoke it. Check out the Revoke Prescription button. It is important to note that revoking the prescription will prevent the mobile app user from seeing their prescription and marking adjustments as complete. Once revoked, a prescription can then be modified and published again, resulting in a new confirmation code and new QR code. The Account tab within your SpatialFrame.com account will allow you to control your mobile app settings. If you do not want to see the patient status column on your My Cases page, simply uncheck the radio button under Receive Updates from iADJUST. SpatialFrame.com now has the ability to send you or someone from your office an email to let you know that a patient has fallen behind schedule. You can choose to receive an email notification 1, 2, or 3 days after your patient has fallen behind. If you do not want to receive these emails, simply uncheck the radio button under Email Notification Threshold. Also on your account page, there is a space for prescription contact information. The contact information included here will be included on all prescriptions provided to patients. Please note, in the iADJUST mobile app, patients will be provided with direct links to this contact information via the My Doctor tab. Lastly, supplemental educational materials for your patient, including a video to remind patients how to adjust their struts according to their prescription, are located on the Info tab within the iADJUST mobile application. We at Smith+Nephew know how valuable your clinic time is, and we hope that the features introduced with the release of 5.0 will help you to better manage your TAYLOR spatial frame patients.